The word tsunami originates from Japanese, where tsu means harbor and nami means wave. While you may never witness one in person, at least I hope not, you might still wonder just how powerful they can be. Let's start with some of the most notable tsunamis in history, even if they weren't the largest ever recorded. One of the most devastating tsunamis occurred in 2011 in Japan. It was triggered by the fourth most powerful earthquake recorded since 1900. This earthquake generated tsunami waves that reached heights of up to 40 meters, 131 feet, and speeds of 800 kilometers per hour, 500 miles per hour, surging as far as 10 kilometers, 6.2 miles, inland. To put this into perspective, the maximum wave height was equivalent to a 13-story building, and the wave's speed was similar to that of a commercial airplane. If this tsunami had hit Barcelona, it could have covered the entire city and still had 3 kilometers, 1.8 miles, of excess reach. The disaster was further worsened by freezing temperatures and snowfall, making rescue efforts even more challenging. Although the death toll was around 20,000 people, what truly made this tsunami stand out was its economic impact. It became the most expensive natural disaster in history. While the earthquake and tsunami themselves caused enormous destruction, the collapse of the Fukushima nuclear power plant dramatically increased the costs, pushing the total damage to over $300 billion. This makes it the second most expensive disaster in history, surpassed only by the Chernobyl nuclear accident. To put this number into context, it is equivalent to Finland's entire GDP. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, on the other hand, was the deadliest tsunami in recorded history. It resulted in approximately 228,000 deaths, far surpassing any other tsunami in human history. This catastrophe was triggered by the third most powerful earthquake ever recorded, which caused the longest fault rupture ever observed, stretching 1,300 kilometers, 808 miles, roughly the distance between Spain and Poland. The earthquake's movement lasted an astonishing 10 minutes, an unprecedented event. The force of the quake was so immense that it caused the entire planet to vibrate by up to 1 centimeter, 0.4 inches. The resulting tsunami waves reached heights of 30 meters, 98 feet, traveling up to 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles, inland. The energy released by the tsunami was equivalent to 5 megatons of TNT, more than twice the total energy of all explosions during World War II, including the 2 atomic bombs. These are just examples of normal tsunamis. However, there are even more extreme events, mega-tsunamis. Unlike regular tsunamis, which are caused by underwater tectonic activity, mega-tsunamis occur when a massive amount of material suddenly falls into the water, such as from a landslide, a meteor impact, or a volcanic eruption. One of the most infamous mega-tsunamis was triggered by the eruption of Krakatoa in 1883 in Indonesia. The eruption, which began on May 20th and reached its peak on August 27th, was so powerful that it caused more than 70% of the island to collapse, forming an underwater caldera. This collapse generated a devastating mega-tsunami, with waves reaching up to 42 meters, 138 feet, the height of a 14-story building. The sheer force of the waves wiped out entire villages and left large areas uninhabitable. One of the most shocking incidents was the fate of the steamship Barrow, which was carried 1.5 kilometers, 0.9 miles, inland, killing the entire crew. The Krakatoa eruption also produced the loudest sound ever recorded, heard up to 4,800 kilometers, 2,983 miles, away in the Indian Ocean. The pressure wave from the explosion circled the planet 3 times, and the volcanic ash altered global temperatures for years. The combined toll from the eruption and the mega-tsunami resulted in at least 36,400 deaths. Not all mega-tsunamis are caused by nature. Sometimes human actions contribute to disaster. A prime example is the Vajont Dam in northern Italy. Completed in 1960 despite warnings about the instability of Mount Toc, this dam stood 262 meters, 860 feet, tall, making it the highest in the world at the time. Even today, only 9 dams have been built taller. The reservoir could hold 168.7 million cubic meters of water, equivalent to 67,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. However, combining an unstable mountain with an enormous water weight was a recipe for disaster. In 1959, small landslides occurred, and in 1960, a large portion of land fell into the reservoir. Yet, authorities continued using the dam. Then, on October 9, 1963, a massive landslide from Mount Tauk crashed into the reservoir, creating a 250-meter wave that overtopped the dam and annihilated villages in the valley below. The wave was as tall as an 83-story skyscraper, killing 2,000 people and completely wiping out 5 villages. Fortunately, experts estimate that such an event is unlikely to occur in the next 10,000 years. But what if it did?